Welcome to the Essence of Homeschooling podcast, brought to you by the umbrella school, Stateros Academy. We empower and equip you to cultivate the authentic homeschool lifestyle where freedom and relationships rule.
Hey, friend, I'm so glad that you're here today. I have somebody so great to introduce you to. I'm excited for you to meet Kim Almas. She's one of our homeschool coaches and she's our professional evaluator. Hi, Kim.
Hey.
I have some questions for you that I wanted to ask you just to help people get to know you a little bit better. So
Sounds good.
I have like 3 fun ones and then I have 3 more serious ones. So the first fun one is, what is the most unusual food you've ever tried and did you like it?
Okay, so I've tried some pretty unusual foods, but probably the most unusual were alligator and frog legs. And actually, believe it or not, they both were not so bad. They both kind of tasted like chicken. So it's just like they say. So the frog legs, that was kind of an interesting one because I was growing up in Indiana and my dad was the pastor of the church, and the men in the church decided he needed to learn how to go frog gigging. And so off they went, middle of the night, had to watch out for water moccasins and all this. And they brought back these Calaveras County big old frogs. And my mom, bless her heart, she fried them up for us, and we all tried them. They were good.
Were you there for the processing of the frogs?
Yes, it was in our kitchen.
Did she do it or did your dad do it?
I imagine they worked together because he was quite a fisherman, so he could handle that kind of thing. So he probably did the most of the work, and then she, battered and fried them.
She did the cooking.
Yeah.
That is so hardcore. That's not like I went to a restaurant and I felt daring, so I ordered the daring appetizer on the menu. That's like
Right.
total another level of trying a
Uh-huh.
different food is when it's cooked in your own kitchen and processed and it came from
Right.
your own,
Fresh
area.
fresh from the swamp.
And the alligator, was that fresh from the swamp too?
I don't know. That was more of a restaurant thing, but that was in
Okay.
Florida. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was good. It wasn't bad. A little chewy, but not bad.
If you could live in any fictional universe, which one would you choose and why?
This I had a hard time with when I was thinking about this earlier. And it was kind of between Narnia and the Shire because, the Shire and hobbits and living like hobbits, that's super, appealing because, live in a little hobbit hole and you've got your all your breakfasts and your 11 C's and your foods and everything. But then I thought, no, I think I'd rather live in Narnia because I would want a chance to hang out with Aslan and I don't know, just all the great creatures there. I think that would be
Mhm.
pretty spectacular because Aslan, he's the Christ figure, and um, I think that's just close to my heart. I think that's what I would enjoy.
And which one of the Narnia books would you say is your favorite? Do you have a favorite Narnia book?
Oh my goodness, yeah, the last battle, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep,
same.
100%. Yeah, it just gets your mind going about what comes next. I mean, I
Mhm.
love the entire series, read it multiple times, but always look forward to that one. And just that picture of what comes next, picture of heaven, and just how this earth is not all there is. There's more coming, and it's all good. It's good stuff.
Mm. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to reread them because I haven't read them in a while, but I love them.
Yeah.
Battle 2. That's definitely my favorite as well,
Mm,
for sure.
that's good.
Okay, my next question is, what's the most adventurous thing you've ever done?
That's a good question. I have a few. I did fly a plane one time. My father-in-law used to own a small plane. He took me up one day and we were flying, and he said, "Do you want to fly the plane?" I said, "No, thanks." He said, "You're going to fly the plane." And he told me how to do it. It was when you sit side by side, and he said, "Here's how you do it. You use your feet that's the rudder, and here's what you do. Don't pull back or, on the yoke too much or push too far, whatever." He told me all the things. And then he just let go. And, like that feeling of like, oh my goodness, what is happening here? But he was such a good coach, and he just kind of talked me through it. And it was really a mind game because once I figured out, okay, just calm down, do exactly what he's telling you to do. He's not going to let you crash the plane. He can take over any second now.
Hmm.
But really, literally, I did fly the plane for about 15 minutes. He let me fly it. And that's kind of fun to have on your list of things that you were able to do,
That is
So that
cool.
was fun. Yeah, that was fun. And I took a rappelling class. And you know what? It was just in the gym at the local gym, but it was really good. It was another one of those mind game kind of things because you had to get out of your head and go, okay, trust the rope and trust, whoever's on the end
Mhm.
of the other end of the rope, the belay person, and do exactly again, do what the coach tells you to do, trust the process, and get yourself up there and ring that bell, and I was so proud of myself when I rang the bell at the top, and I don't even know now how many feet up it was, but it was plenty high. And then trusting the rope again to bring me down safely. And I felt like it was definitely a mind game for me. It was a confidence builder, but it was also very much like metaphorically important for me because, again, it was kind of like, okay, trust the people who've been there before you, trust the ropes, trust the
Mhm.
guidance, trust the process. And I've applied that in life in a lot of ways, even with homeschooling. Trust the
Mhm.
people who have gone before. They say kids are going to learn to read at a certain process, a certain way. Trust the ropes, relax, it'll be okay. So rappelling
Mhm.
was a lot of fun. I would love to do it again, but definitely it felt super adventurous at the time, kind of scary at the time.
And are you scared of heights or are you okay with heights?
No, they totally give me the heebie-jeebies. Yeah.
So that's like the whole nother level.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Are you interested in doing a professional homeschool evaluation but feel uneasy about having someone look at your students' work? Do you have questions about the process and how everything comes together? Get our guide to stress-free homeschool evaluation techniques with our expert guidance. Don't miss out on this helpful information. Go to today's show notes for a copy of our ultimate guide to stress-free professional homeschool evaluations.
Now I have some more serious questions for you. I would like for you to share what unique perspective or expertise you bring to the homeschool community.
I do have a lot of experience. I mean, I hate to admit it when I think about it, but I really have been in education over 30 years. And that's been in um, homeschool, private school, Christian private school, a little bit in public school, public charter schools, co ops, all sorts of things like that. And I started a business for doing homeschool evaluations in Colorado back in 2010. And at the time, I couldn't find anybody else that was doing it. I might have been, if I wasn't the first, I was certainly one of the first to do that. So over the years, the last pushing 14 years now, I've done just hundreds, if not thousands, of evaluations, especially when you include venues that I've been involved in. So, lots of experience with all the grade levels, all the different kinds of curriculum, all the different methods that people choose to homeschool, learning styles, teaching styles, all that kind of thing. And through all of that, like more on a personal level, I have experience, and this is a little bit more serious, but homeschooling through family crisis, which a lot of us, we have stuff going on. Everybody has something going on. And we had pretty serious crisis in our family. My husband had cancer, and then our kids kind of grew up and we with that. So we kind of homeschooled through that. And that was really a process for us, but I can speak really authentically, I think, with families who are trying to homeschool and all of a sudden, wow, life happens in a big way. And so I have a lot of compassion for families going through things like that. So those are some of the areas I think that I have some experience and expertise that can lend a hand.
That's so much real, like real experience.
Mm.
That's raw. You've seen and helped so many families and you've been through so much yourself. How many years did you homeschool through that with your husband having cancer?
When it first showed up, they were 7 and 9. And
Wow.
then it came back, it was brain cancer, and it came back as grade 4 when they were 11 and 13. So, it's one thing when they're young, and then the second time around, middle school years, that's a whole other thing going on. So, and then through high school, and then of course, there's a lot of things to work through that with that, and you have to decide, are you going to put him in school or is it better to keep him home? And we wrestled with it, but really, honestly, not for long. It was so
Mm.
much better for us. We decided let's keep him home. Their hearts are the most important thing to us. Let's keep them close, and in the long run, that turned out to be the best choice for us.
Mhm.
And we were on our schedule, not on somebody else's, and we could handle our lives the way that we felt we needed to do that. So
And they turned out fantastically. So,
I think
there's
so.
no doubt that it worked out great. I'm so sorry your family went through that, but I'm so glad that you stuck it out
Th-
and that
Thank
you have all of that to look back over together. That's a really big deal.
Thank you. Yes. And fortunately, my husband he's a long-term survivor, which is unique too. That's a whole other topic for another day. But yeah, we're very thankful.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk about that on another day, won't we?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, my next question is, will you please share a fun or unconventional learning activity that you've done with your homeschooling students?
Yes, we were blessed, able to do a lot of traveling. And a real big highlight for us was we happened to be in Normandy in France on the 70th anniversary of D-Day. And so our kids got to actually meet these, 80, 90-year-old guys that really were on the beaches on at
Mm,
D-Day. It just was huge. And then, part of that same trip, we listened to the audiobook of The Hiding Place by Corey Ten Boom. And then we actually went to the hiding place and got to actually walk in there and see that and the Anne Frank Museum and things like that. So not necessarily the norm. We were given the gift of some travel, and we were able to do some things that were really unusual and really special, but we made the most of it, and it was not just, "Oh, let's just go travel, let's just go on vacation." We
mhm.
absolutely connected it academically, and then it was a time for us to grow together as a family, and our kids learned how to be independent and be lifelong learners, and even to this day, one of them lives overseas, so all the traveling that we did, it just kind of became a big part of who we are.
I have so many questions I want to ask you about that. That I
Yeah.
love that traveling, families traveling together is so amazing. That's like such a passion of mine, both for my own family, but to then also help other people do it. Because when you get out of your element, the bonding that happens and understanding your kids on a whole nother level and like seeing
Mhm.
their character. And sometimes like it's so amazing and it's astonishing to see, but then sometimes it's really insightful, like, oh, we got to work on some stuff here. Right. Like I love
Mhm.
travel for that. It's just I can't get enough of it. So I have to ask you this. When you went to Corey Ten Boom's, did you go to her house where she lived or did you go to the concentration camp?
We went to the house where they lived, where they hid the Jews, the fake
The fake
wall.
wall. Yeah.
Yep, and our kids crawled through the cupboard door and
Wow.
and went into that, so it was pretty amazing. But, you were saying talking too, even we went to Japan another time, and our kids were 15 and 17 at the time, and our 17-year-old, he was taking Japanese, and this was kind of the field trip a field trip for the online class he was in. We, as parents, saw him comfortable in his own skin there in Japan, like more than we had ever probably in his whole life. And we thought, wow,
Mm.
this is where he's supposed to be. And that is what ended up happening. So he's living there now and he's getting ready to graduate from college over there now. But to be able to have that gift of seeing him really come into his own before our eyes was just such a gift.
A huge gift, right? Like, I can't imagine the peace of mind that you would have to be
Hmm.
able to see it and then always know in your mama heart of hearts and have that peace that that's where he's supposed to be. Because it's, for somebody else to say, not be able to say that and have their kids say, I'm going to go to Japan, see you later. I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's so far away. Is it really the right thing? Are you going to be okay? Is it right? Like, there'd be so much anxiety with that. But I bet it was so much easier for you to experience and go through because you got to go through that with him and see him
Yeah.
and that he was in his space. That's such a huge blessing. I love it. That's
It
amazing.
it was a lot of fun, that's for sure. Yeah.
That's perfect. I have another one for you.
Can you share a favorite homeschooling memory or a success story that has touched you deeply?
Another really special memory was my dad was in ministry all my life. And so when our boys got older, we wanted them to have a Bible class. And so, along with some other kids that we kind of were in community with homeschooling and things, we got together and he taught them for 3 years Bible class. And they lived in our basement at the time, and Bible class in the basement, sitting around their kitchen table, all these teenagers with my dad going through their Bible study together. And that's especially meaningful to us now because we lost my dad a couple of years ago. And just thinking back now and looking at the pictures and having the kids come back and say, Pastor Steele, you really explained things in a way I could finally understand it. Or my own kids, grandpa, he
Mm.
taught me all I needed to know to head off into college. And so it was very, very much a huge part of our homeschooling. And even when my husband was ill, both of my parents, the grandparents, having grandparents involved was a big deal for us. My mom was very supportive also uh, during the whole journey that we've been through. So for us, family has definitely been a huge factor and a huge blessing.
That's amazing. So many people don't have the support or the approval of their family to be able to have it and have those memories for your sons to be able to be with their grandfather and all that shared time with the things, with the beliefs that are the most deeply held, most important beliefs in their life to be able to be instilled from him. That's fantastic. That's precious. I love it.
I'm very thankful. Yeah,
I think we have time for another question. Can I ask you one more?
sure thing.
I want to know what you believe is the fundamental essence of homeschooling.
Yeah, that's a good question. Because it's funny because the other day I was pulling out a can of sparkling water and it said it had the essence of, I don't know, grapefruit, whatever I was drinking that day. And I thought, oh, there's that word essence, and it's kind of, where everything is kind of distilled down to just what something really is at the base level, right? And so I wrote it down. And I believe that the fundamental essence of homeschooling is intentionally crafting a lifestyle that is unique to your own family's values and needs and desires, because every family is going to be different, where each person is allowed to thrive and become whoever they were personally created to be.
I love that. It's such a big deal just to give them that gift and allow them to become confident in who they are and sure of who they are and to be able
Mhm.
to know their own mind, to be able to discover their purpose. So many people have no idea what their purpose is, and to be able to homeschool and to be able to cut out the noise of the world and have that close relationship
Mhm.
between parents and children and siblings with each other and to be able to be at peace in that existence. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Absolutely. And the freedom that we have to do that, to let our kids follow their own path, to figure it out, the freedom to spend the time together, away from everybody else if you need to do that. And just the freedom to be just super intentional with it. So if I had to really distill it down even more to what is the essence, I think it's just freedom.
Yeah, freedom in relationships, right?
Yeah.
The freedom
Yeah.
to do it and the ability to grow those relationships and deepen those bonds. Oh, I
Absolutely.
love it. Thank you for taking time out of your day for me, for being a part of Statheros Academy so we can work together to help more homeschoolers and encourage them. And especially with the evaluations, I'm excited that you get to give all the evaluations now to our families.
I'm excited too. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Kim. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.
Are you looking for a supportive community to walk with you through your homeschooling journey? Look no further. Statheros Academy is your go-to umbrella school for fulfilling legal reporting requirements in Colorado. But what if you don't live in Colorado? We still serve you through our support tools and services. At Statheros Academy, we're not just another institution. We're your partners in education, providing comprehensive support services designed to empower, encourage, and equip you to be the best homeschool parent that your children deserve. Teacher and student IDs, parent and professional evaluations, attendance logs, record-keeping services, DIY high school transcripts, or our official Homeschool high school transcript service produces personalized transcripts that highlight your students' unique accomplishments. High school diplomas celebrate your family's achievement when you successfully complete the adventure. Additionally, our experienced homeschool coaches provide one-on-one support throughout your journey. Custom tailor your homeschool support system by selecting one of our 3 enrollment packages based on your family's needs. This way, you can get exactly what you need to make the most of your homeschooling experience. We come alongside you in the way you want to be supported, whether that's the bare minimum or holding your hand each step of the way. The Umbrella School Statheros Academy provides what you want the way you want it. So why wait? Enroll with Statheros Academy today and unlock a world of possibilities for your homeschooling journey. Go to theumbrellaschool.com to learn more and sign up. We can't wait to serve your family.